My intention today is to share with you a model of 9 behaviors that comes from our research across 70 countries that we visited, looking into what are the behaviors, what are the choices of people who are happy regardless of their circumstances, of people that thrive even during hardship, of people that have the highest potential to be innovative, to be creative, to bond with other people. So our way to find these people was to visit countries we'd never visited before, to go to villages, meet local people, and simply ask these people, who's the happiest person you know? Over time, we saw that there were these 9 universal behaviors that we heard over and over and over again from these happy people. Initially, this made no sense to us. How was it that we were hearing the same 9 things, for instance, in Turkey, than we were hearing in Japan? Those two cultures are so dramatically different, yet we were hearing the same 9 things. We wrote a book called How We Choose to Be Happy, and that book became an instant international bestseller, and it helps people integrate these 9 things into their life. Now we do a lot of work with big companies like Google, like Hilton Hotels, like Wells Fargo Bank, AXA International, helping them create a positive, high-trust, high-performance culture. Why did we hear the same 9 behaviors all over the world? And here is the answer. Just as fish gotta swim and birds gotta fly, human beings need to connect and relate. Human beings are a clan species. We have always lived in small groups, in tribes, and the way we survive is with our clan, with our group. We all have to help each other in the clan for us to survive. If you think about the animal kingdom, we don't run the fastest, we don't have sharp teeth or claws. We survive because we live in these tribes where everybody helps each other. At the center of this model is intention. What we found is that people that thrive all day long are taking the 2 to 5 seconds before they do anything to say to themselves, I have many choices right now. What's my best choice? You know, oftentimes when you're really busy and overwhelmed, you might say, I just feel like I'm reacting all day long, like I'm on automatic pilot, like a robot. When you say that, you would be right, because the way the brain works, if you repeat a certain behavior many times, you actually build a deep set of neural pathways in your brain so that pretty soon when A happens, you just do B. That's just what you do. I think this happens a lot with defense mechanisms. You know, there's a conflict. Some people just automatically shut down or hide out. Other people just automatically argue back or have to win or have to be right. The beauty of setting intention is that you get to make your best choice, not your reactive choice. Here's an example. You're on the phone, you're going to call a colleague or a friend or an outside vendor, and you say to yourself, okay, I have many choices right now. What's my best choice? Maybe left unchecked, you might say, hey, we have this problem, and I need you to do A, B, C. But with your intention, you think, in this situation, maybe my best choice is just to listen, or just say, I'm curious, what do you think we ought to do? The point here is that all action first comes from our intention. An intention is different than a goal. A goal is finish these 5 emails by 5 o'clock, get to the bank by 3 o'clock. Goals are achievement of things. That is not intention. Intention is the how. It is either your attitude or your behavior. So an example of intention is to appreciate the people on your team more, for instance. It is to speak up more honestly at the meeting. It's a mindset. Here's the other thing about intention. Studies show that other than traumatic events, 90% of your experience of anything is just how you have it framed up here, and the other 10% is what actually happens. Like I have this with the airlines. I live in San Francisco, California. United Airlines is the biggest carrier in town, so I frequently take them, but I hate them. And so I've decided up here that they're bad. And when I get to the airport, I have to fight the urge to blame United for everything that goes wrong because I'm looking for what they're doing wrong. There is another airline carrier that I just love. It's called Virgin. And I can't ever find anything wrong with them because I'm only looking for the good. All right, there's another part of intention. Which is that many people told us when they first get up in the morning, they set their intention for the day. What do we mean by that? They say, what do I want to focus on today? Maybe it's appreciating more. Maybe it's head down to the desk and getting things done. The why behind the what. Why are we making this decision? What happened that caused us to move in this direction? Because what happens when people don't understand the why or don't understand what's motivating you? Accountability. Accountability here first means being accountable to yourself, and then it means being accountable to others. So I'm going to tell you a little story. We researched happy people, and we also researched very unhappy people, which is not as much fun. But we did it anyway because we wanted to see what the differences were in terms of what they told us. Here is the headline. When we interviewed very unhappy people, and they said about themselves that they were unhappy, in almost every case, they tried to convince us that in their case, it was impossible to be happy. Well, you don't understand. I hurt my foot last year, and then my cat ran away, and it's impossible for me to be happy. Now, I understand those could be painful events, but here's the headline. The more people see themselves as a victim in their life, the more in their life they also see themselves as unhappy. The accountability piece is, okay, this happened. Maybe I didn't want this to happen. Now, what can I do to make things better for me or the people around me? And centrality. They mean two things. Identification, your passions. People who are happy and thrive clearly have identified their passions. When we would ask them, well, what do you love to do? They were like racehorses out of a gate. They knew, reading these kinds of books, having those kinds of conversations, sleeping out under the stars, going camping. Centrality simply means that people who thrive make central to their life those things that are their passions, even if they have lots of family responsibilities and a demanding job. So, the way we identify these 4 types, and I'm going to ask each of you to think about, well, which type are you? is that we give each type an animal name. So I'm going to describe these 4 animal names and the personality or preference that goes with it. I have already cleared it with the staff here, and so I do know that you have all 4 of these animals in Brazil, so you should recognize them. So the beaver type loves to be organized. As people, give them a mess and they'll work to create organization. They tend to be planful. They like to create a plan, particularly in the workplace. Dolphins, 15% of the population. Dolphins tend to be a little bit playful, but they love to start with the big story. They tend to be creative. They love big ideas. And we say they make decisions first based on the people and the impact on the people. They lead from the heart. What a dolphin person would say is, if I can just create this strong trust with this other person or this team, just think what we could do. They're the most optimistic of all the types. This is the owl. So the owl is also 15% of the population. Owls are a little bit like dolphins because they love to start with the big picture, but unlike a dolphin, an owl first starts with logic rather than, we say they go to their head first and then their heart. And the dolphin starts with the heart. Where do the owls sit? High in the tree, because they want to be up here. They don't want to be in the details. And the owl is looking down saying, I totally understand our strategy. And I don't know why everybody can't see this. It's so obvious. The last one, fox. Also 35% of the population, fox. What do we think of when we think of fox? A couple of things. Fast, always moving, very clever. We say the fox, the whole way on the way to the hen house, they're looking for even a better possibility. Foxes love options, but it's very on the ground. Like my senior executives that I work with who are foxes say to me, if I have to go to one more strategy meeting, I'll quit. I could have done 50 things while they're still talking about their strategy. Foxes want to move, and it's very tactical. Sometimes on a team, the leader of the team might be an owl, for instance, and so gravitates to the thinking of other owls, or might be a beaver and gravitates more to the thinking of other beavers. We as leaders, as key people in organizations, need to be open to the diversity of thought because we need all 4 types to make the best decisions. Let's think about this whole model right now. People thrive when they set their intention rather than just react, when they have the intention to be happy. People thrive when they're accountable, when they say, what can I do? What's my part? Rather than being a victim. Because a victim team is never an innovative team. When people identify and make central their passions and their preference. Beaver, dolphin, owl, fox. When they recast, when they find opportunities in hardship, when they open up options. It feels good to open up an option, right? Appreciate each other when they give and when they tell the truth. At any point, the best intention for me might be different than the best intention for somebody else. Or how I'm going to find an opportunity for me might be different than your opportunity. We need to be open to the diversity, but to use these behaviors. And the final thing I want to leave you with is, in life, we can't always choose our circumstances, but typically we can choose our own attitude, our own reaction, and our own intention Nobody can ever take that away from us. Obrigado.
Yeah.